Hi, welcome back to Guessagaingaming. So I'm back with an update on my playthrough of Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor, which I've been playing off and on for about the last week and a half, 2 weeks maybe. And I've had some thoughts, some are good and some are not good, so I thought I'd share them. It won't be a very long video. I'm not really going to do any gameplay. When you die in this game or you start again, you always end up in one of these towers. Forge tower, and there's quite a few throughout the map. You unlock them by climbing them, and as you can see I've locked quite a lot. I think I'm on level 22 now, something like that, so I've been playing it a good bit, and the map's quite big, and these are the towers, and you can fast travel to them, and you die and respawn at the nearest one, which is pretty straightforward. So I'll just jump off this because this glowing tower thing is irritating. So I landed in a bush, there you go. So this game, okay, the good thing is the combat's quite fun. The thing with the orcs, which is one of the main features of the game, which is you get all these orc bosses, and when you kill them you get special abilities or updates in your weapon, but if they kill you they update themselves and sort of rise up the ranks, which is a really cool system. And the ones with the red dots are the ones that have killed me, which are numerous, I'm sure. So it's a game you're going to need to be kind of on the ball all the time, because even though you respawn if you die, obviously the orcs that have killed you are going to benefit from killing you. So you don't want to just go wandering around being killed a lot. When you start the game, if you don't kind of get on board with what's going on and you get killed over and over again by different orcs, you're going to be in trouble. So that's the first part. I like the system though, it's a good system. The orcs actually remember you, and they kind of not just have leveled up, they remember some of the things you did to kill them last time, and they remember you, which is really cool. So that system I like a lot. I think I remember reading in the past that it's a system that they copyrighted just for this game, so no other game can use it, which is a shame. It'd be a really cool system in other games. But anyway, so that's a cool system. And there is an orc close up. But the problem is that the way they do the combat in this is kind of hard, because what happens is the orcs level up. So even if you're leveling up, the orcs also level up, the bosses do. So you're never going to be in a situation you can just walk up and kill them. That's fine, but there's two other things that sort of work against you. When you go to kill one of the orcs, in general, not always but mostly, you'll have to go to a trigger point where there's a kind of little glowing icon that says, do you want to trigger the battle with this boss, or the orc's name, and you will. So instead of a normal game where you go up and you can pick how you're going to attack them and make sure they're on their own and pick the terrain, etc, etc, in this you can't. So when you trigger the fight, usually what will happen is there'll be the boss and maybe 4 or 5 of his guard with him, and you have to fight them in a certain way, because that's them. They just walk out from wherever they are and you've got to get them. Usually you have to go and kill the guard first, which isn't that difficult, but the problem with that system is that because there's so many orcs all over the battlefield, regardless of what you do by stealthily killing the guard, which is usually quite easy, the rest of the orcs in the area will very quickly realise you're there. So instead of just fighting the boss or even his 5 guards, you'll end up fighting numerous other orcs, which is difficult because, like I said, the orc leader's going to be similar in level to you by the time you get into this game. But they've all leveled up, or you've killed them, they've leveled up against you by killing you, and you'll end up fighting a whole mass of orcs. And so it's not as simple as a boss fight. It is, in most games I've ever played actually, you can either fight the boss because it's just a boss, or you fight through all the minions and you pick the time when you're going to hit the boss. You can take out the minions, but in this you can't. That's the first problem. The second problem is that you don't actually have a way of healing yourself other than running into herb plants that are lying around the map. And that can be difficult because when you're fighting numerous orcs chasing you around, you're running around looking for these herb plants, and also you have to click on, I think it's R2 to pick the herb plant, and by the time you stop to pick it, usually you've been stabbed and shot, so it doesn't make any difference if you're picking it or not. So these systems make it rather difficult to get on. And like I said, I think I've got to level 22, so I've done a lot of levelling up, but I wouldn't say I'm any closer to being in a situation where I can easily kill bosses than I was before. In fact, I'd say it's more difficult now. Yeah, killing the basic orcs is not difficult, but killing the bosses is not easy. I'll just go and kill these just to show you. So killing the basic orcs is not hard. Like I said, the problem is you've got no level up, you've got no life up, so you haven't got any health potions on you. But you can kind of get through it by doing what you do in most games, rolling around and... But there you can see, I've just rolled a little bit and I've already got another guys from there. So you can see how this actually made the point really well. So I'm killing these alright, but you can see what happened. I just rolled like a millimetre onto that bridge, and out of that, I'm not doing this really well because I'm paying attention to what I'm saying as well, but so it's not, the combat's fine. I did a really basic kind of combat. I'm not really good at doing dodging and fighting at the same time. I've never have been, so I just attack. Although it is a game where it's beneficial for you to use dodges and blocks, but anyway, in that part I didn't. So you can see what happened. I went to kill 3, and just by going slightly onto this area, I ended up with another 3 attacking, and that's just to kill 3. And the whole map is, probably won't see it from this, is full of enemies. So if you go to kill a boss, and that was a boss, and usually the bosses are in the main forts or the main encampments, then you'll end up with loads of orcs attacking you. And it ends up a bit like, I don't know if you've ever seen Benny Hill, which is an old sketch comedy show where he used to run around at the end of the episode being chased by all manner of people because he'd been bad and done something silly, and it was all a bit funny. This is like that. You end up running round and round looking for herbs to save you and regenerate your health, and trying to escape from this endless line of orcs that you can in no way fight, because one of them is a boss who's at least the same level as you, sometimes they're higher level, and the others are just random orcs, but you can't fight that many at the same time. You haven't got any kind of real missile attacks, and it's just you. So it becomes, instead of a game where the longer you level up you get an advantage, you do get an advantage over the grunts, as you've just seen. They were hard to kill at the beginning on their own, but you don't really get an advantage against the bosses. So that's the first problem. The other problem, the graphics are nice in this game, even though it's a 10-year-old game. The other problem, and I was thinking about this, and I actually made a video covering what I've just said, and then I realised this morning that wasn't actually the main problem with the game. The main problem is that, as you can see, this map is big, and I don't think I've gone to every single part. There's a part here I've not gone to, but it's quite big. It's not massive, but it's big, and there's lots of orcs, lots of these little forts, there's lots of little places to go. But here's the other problem with it. It's almost like a levelling up arena. There are 2 places, I don't think that's one, I'll find them. There are 2, oh there's one. There's 2 story missions, but they're hard because, like I said, the boss is hard to kill, and there's always loads of other orcs with them. I've tried both of them a couple of times at least and been killed, and I don't want to keep trying them because the boss will keep levelling up. So I've been trying to level up further, but it's not easy. And like I said, this map is almost like a levelling up map, and that's kind of all it is, because there's nowhere, there's things that show you like this where you can do a little mission to level up one of your weapons, but they also work the same. You go there and there's a little icon that says, do you want to start this mission? And usually it means shooting a lot of orcs, or if it's a sword, killing orcs with melee or whatever it might be. But again, it works in a very strange way. So you don't actually do it in the map on real time. It gives you the mission, then it sort of takes you to do it. Sometimes you get triggered and you have to go and shoot some orcs in a certain amount of time, but it's not, yeah, it's different from normal. But the main problem is, so far, and I've been around this map a lot now, there's nothing you actually find that isn't the things that are marked. There's no hidden treasure, there's no things to pick up, there's no things like that. The thing you need to, it's like a currency thing to level up, but that's always going to be somewhere, and it even marks that, so I'm not sure if I can find one, but let's see. Yeah, there, it's lifting, I think that's probably not how you say it, but there's these, but again they're marked, so there's nowhere you go, like there are in most games, open world games, where you go to a secret place and find loot or gold, because it's all marked, you know where it is. And then the next problem, which is the thing I think is the biggest problem with this game, against all the things I've said, that they would all be okay if the map, as I said, didn't feel like a levelling up map. And what I mean by that is, there are no NPCs at all other than the orc bosses to speak to or interact with. Okay, I get it's meant to be Mordor and it's all very bad, but there's no one to interact with. So you've got the bosses, but you don't interact with them, you just fight with them. And apart from that, and there is a character in one of the story missions which you unlock when you do that, but that's different. There's no one where you're running around this whole map where you bump into anybody, there's slaves that you free, but no one ever interacts with you at all. So it becomes kind of boring, and like I said, it becomes a levelling up map, because all you're doing is running around killing as many random orcs as you can to level up. You can level up your weapons going to these certain places to do it, but that involves a certain type of mission. You can attack the orcs where it tells you where they are, the bosses, and you get a special reward, but you have to go there and do a certain kind of mission to do that, and like I said, they're not easy. But the problem is, there's nothing else to do on the map. You don't run around and discover anything, because it's all there, and you don't run around and bump into any NPCs with either anything to say or any side quest. Now that's possibly because it wouldn't be a side quest, but it'd be like being in the hinterland in Dragon Age Inquisition if you removed all the hidden treasures, your own companions, and all the NPCs that give side quests. It just becomes a slog of running around killing, and after getting to level 22 I realised that the killing was hard, and it was hard to get to the main missions because they were very difficult and the bosses were hard to kill, which was fine. But I just realised this morning that it was also because there was just nothing else there. There was nothing to find, and there's no NPCs to either talk to or give quests. They don't have to give quests, even if you had some of the slaves or someone else that's there that you could interact with, it would make it more interesting, but there isn't. So it's like a levelling up map where the only way you can leave it is to do these two quests, and no, I don't like it. If you could get through this quickly, and I dare say some people would get through it quicker than me, then okay, maybe you level up through this, get out using one of these story quests, there they are, and then you go on to another level, and maybe there's more in that. But if you're going to spend 22 plus levels more just running around this killing random orcs and being killed by orcs, that's boring actually. Because I've realised in the 22 levels I've done this, that's all I've done. I haven't found anything new, I haven't talked to anyone new, and yeah, it becomes frustrating and annoying. And it's a shame, because I like the idea of the orcs that remember you and level up because you've killed them, and they level up because they've killed you. I like the idea of the combat, and I love Tolkien, but I just find the way the game is set and the way it works, especially just on this level, I can't speak about the other levels, is just kind of dull, to be honest. Anyway, that's my thoughts on Lord of the Rings, or Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor. It's Lord of the Rings, so yeah, Lord of the Rings, even if it's not called that. Like I said, it's a game that I want to like a lot, but I'm finding it hard to like, because it's too much of a slog with much too little going on. So yeah, I may keep playing it off and on, but I can't say that I feel immersed in it. Also, I don't feel very immersed in my own character. I'm a ranger, like an Aragorn kind of character that's running around to try and do a mission. But I don't feel, again, because there's no NPCs and there's no one else with me, other than this kind of ghost character that doesn't appear very often. I don't feel very immersed in my own mission. I'm just running around killing orcs all over the place. Because that's kind of what I need to do, and that doesn't feel very immersive either. But anyway, maybe it's just me, but that's my thoughts on it. Anyway, thanks for watching Guessagaingaming. Till next time, take care for now.